My name is Michael Masterson, and I'm with the Silver Lake Neighborhood Council History Collective. I'm the interviewer today, and the cameraman is Marco Larson, and we also have Cheryl Revkin with us, who's the co-chair of the committee. It's August 16th, 2014, and we're at the Red Lion Tavern on Glendale Blvd. And we're here to meet and interview the owners and longtime workers and friends of the Red Lion. And so I'd like to start by asking each of you to introduce yourselves, tell us a little bit about yourself. We'll start with Rosie.
I'm Roswita Mattern, known as Rosie. I started in 1971 at the Red Lion Tavern.
Okay, where are you from?
I'm originally from Germany. I came here in 1964.
Okay. And where did you move when you came here?
I moved to up north near San Francisco, and then in 1968 I came to Los Angeles.
I see. And where do you live in Los Angeles?
I live in Mountain, Washington.
Okay, so close by.
Yes, close by.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right, and you?
My name is Elsa Hohls, and I started here in '89. My husband and I came in and being a partner with a friend after his partner had passed away.
And where are you from originally?
Originally from Romania.
Romania?
Transylvania. They make fun of it, and I have to put that in because every time, oh yeah, the Dracula, I said, yeah, that's a Hollywood story, but nevertheless.
And when did you come to the United States?
I came in '59.
Okay.
And with my mother and sister. My father was here already, so he had to be here and be a citizen, and had to make sure that he can help us and take care of us. And that's how we got here. Yes.
Okay. You immigrated with your husband?
No, just I was a teenager at the time, at those 59. Got married in '63 with my husband, which was from Germany, and he passed away 2 years ago. So, but I'm still working here, and I love it. I can't get away.
And?
My name is Elke Christopher. I came in '84, so I'm a youngster actually. And I'm from Hamburg, Germany.
And when did you come to the States?
1984.
Okay. Oh, you came in 84.
Yeah, I came in '84.
And started working here first job?
No, first time I came, I started working here in '86. But I only stayed for a year, and then I quit. It was not like it was now. Silver Lake was not the same. Yeah. We only had one parking lot outside, and we girls had to park in the street. And at 2:30 in the morning, you didn't want to go in the street of Glendale Blvd. It was so I quit, and then I came back in, I think '95 or something. When did you here?
'89.
Because you were already here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you used to work up here.
Yeah.
In the middle.
So I came back in '95.
Okay.
And I've been here ever since.
Ever since. Almost 20 years now, I guess.
Yeah.
The youngster, though.
Yeah, the youngster.
Yes.
I'm Edita Mattis, and I'm owner. I came to this country July 4th, 1970. I flew to New York and straight to here.
From?
From Lithuania, Kaunas, Lithuania, and I'm ever been since here.
What brought you to Los Angeles?
I brought to visit my grandmother and my uncle and aunt and some other relatives. Mm-hmm. And I came for 2 months and I'm still here.
It happens.
It happens. I met my husband and I met him right there in the Red Lion. Well, I saw him and kind of, and the rest is history. The rest is history.
And I want to hear more about that. Speaking of history, here is your son.
Yes.
So,
and my name is Aidas Mattis, and I was born here in Los Angeles, so I'm a native. And I'm an owner since 2004, but even patron a long time before that.
Yes, already.
Yeah, it's been 10 years.
Oh my God, doesn't time fly?
Wonderful. Well, let's go back to 1959, and none of you were actually here in the Red Line at that time, and some of you soon after. So the Red Line was built in 1959, or started in 1959, and who were the original owners? Who can talk about that?
I think that was a couple of English guys that after they bought Coles on 6th Street, because you can see, when you go to Coles, you still see the Ritterbrow kegs and all that, which they took out of here. But I think that was only downstairs. That's what I was told from old people. And after that, Angelo came in, no?
Yes.
Angelo Glockner.
That's
And he bought.
62.
That was in 62, yeah.
1962.
So I think that's why it's called the Red Lion, because Red Lion is not really a German pub name. It's more English.
Yeah.
So, and I think that came from the English guys, and then it just stayed Red Lion because it became popular.
And you knew Angelo?
Yeah, Angelo and Anna. Yeah, I met them.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Oh, you met them?
Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah,
worked-
but Rosie,
I
yeah,
remember
I
them
met them.
also.
Oh, yeah.
I
When
worked
I
for
came to
Angelo
the-
and
You were-
Anna. Yes.
So tell us about
when you
Yes,
came here.
yes.
With
What
your
year
husband,
was-
Eddie, on
I started in
yeah.
71.
Okay.
71.
Yeah, I started in
And
71.
they had bought it in 63, so
Yeah.
you were okay. So what were they? Tell us about them. What can you tell us about? And Angelo wasn't his real name, I understand.
Angelo, no. His
We
name
were
was-
just debating that the other day. We can't
because
remember.
his name was Engelbert, but nobody could pronounce it, so
Oh,
he called
Engelbert.
himself Angelo.
Engelbert Glockner.
Angelo
Or like-
Glockner, and
Engelbert,
his
but-
wife name was Anna, and they had a son, Junior, Angelo Junior, and they had it for many years, and then Angelo sold it in roughly, Anna killed herself.
She killed herself?
Yeah, they had a family problem, she killed herself.
Yes. Was that here?
Here, right here.
Oh.
And then he sold, he closed 1 year, and then he sold it to Uwe Bracken and Hans Loderich.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they had it when did you took over?
2004.
2004.
So no.
So I guess
No,
they
Hans,
came-
Hans died,
Hans
Hans died in
died.
87.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hans
And
died.
then Uwe was by himself
Yeah, for a while.
and,
And
for
then,
a while.
And then you and Walter came.
And my husband and I came in May of 89.
And did you were owners of it too? Did you were
Yeah, business.
okay.
Business partners with Uwe, yes.
So we do it. Okay.
Yeah.
And he owned it until he died. Is that what
Yes, then Uwe passed away in 2003.
Mhm.
And then we were by ourselves for a year until it all got straightened out with his people that wanted the money, of course,
Mhm.
the family in Germany.
Mhm.
And then Aidas bought it.
Okay.
In,
We were involved pretty early, though.
yeah, for a
yeah.
year you were here, but I mean
it
until
took
we
time
were.
to get everything sorted
Exactly,
out.
Escrow.
exactly.
Escrow and everything.
But you already talked to Uwe when he was still alive. Huh?
I never actually got a chance to talk to
I
him
know, but
because
I
every time
remember
I
I
came, he was
called
always
you.
out of town.
You were
and-
in
I was
Berkeley.
in Berkeley, yes.
Yeah, and I called you a couple of times and said, Uwe's here, come.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was traveling a lot. At the time, we had the business like we're here 2 or 3 weeks, and then he would go away the time, and then he would come back, and then we stay away. So we were not here a lot together, just like a few days just to straighten out things, but never here all the time together. So he did travel a lot. If it was just here or Germany a lot, of course, because that's what he was from, and he was by himself, so he could go and come whenever he pleased. Yes, yeah. But my husband and I, we had a family, so we stayed at home and traveled also. But it was a nice arrangement.
It's good.
It
We're
was
very-
good. Yeah,
Good.
it did good.
So then the Mattises came and you negotiated the purchase in 2004.
It started in 2003, but
Uh-huh.
the escrow closed in May of 2004.
Which must have been very special for you since you met your husband here. Can you
Yes,
tell
it
us that
was.
story, Edita? I'd like to hear about that. And why were you coming to the Red Lion then anyway?
You know, a lot of from our community, after the church, people would come here and have lunch.
Mhm.
And so I saw him and he saw me that day. And then later on, they would go to somebody's house and kind of, And then I went to Scouts camp and that's where, he took me home from there. And 3 days later, he proposed. And I said,
3 days.
it's funny, literally, he came, with the flowers and he proposed, And I told you don't know me, I don't know you. I mean, this is, And then he helped me to get visa, and then extension.
I heard
And
that
I
story,
stayed
yeah.
as kind of, studied English, and then we got married.
Oh, how old were you?
When I came to this country, I was 21, and we had 2 weddings, one in Las Vegas. At that time the Lithuania was occupied, so we needed, kind of formal civil marriage. And then second time we had in the church 6 weeks later, Then I was 22.
So you got married at 21 and 22.
22 to the same husband.
And then I just came along.
Yeah. Oh, Aidas was
And
the
then you came
second
along
son.
later.
No, I was still going to
One
school.
of them that
and-
came along.
But that's the story.
And did you ever dream the day you met your husband here that one day you would own the place where you met
No,
him?
never. I think he had a dream and he fulfilled it.
He had a dream, I remember
Yeah.
It
one
was
day
not
he
my
came and
dream,
he
I
says,
just kind of,
no matter
So
what, he
tell us
has to
about
get
that. You said something special for you because your parents met here? Or?
Well, this was an epicenter, I guess, for Lithuanians as well, because our parish, St. Casimir's parish, is right over here. So quite often after events at the parish, people would come here to get together and have a drink. And it's European, so it's very similar to, Lithuanian beers and food and things of that nature. So it seemed to make sense, to fit into our community, and so it was a social gathering place for all of us.
Okay. So you kind of grew up, you grew up coming here then?
Yes.
So you,
Oh, yeah.
really.
And I think we got
I'm not going to tell this
Yeah,
story.
don't tell
It's
that
your
No. Anyway, I just had the idea to buy a bar, because he was telling me, 5 of them or something, we'll buy a bar one day. And, and when it happened, that it was available, this place, there was no question. He took a year off from school. He was supposed to start his graduate studies, and he called the school and he said, would you mind if I take a year off or whatever? And he got it. And that's how long it took to put all the papers, finances, and everything together.
That's great. That's a wonderful story, actually. Because it adds to the long history of the Red Lion, which is really, really fantastic, actually. So, since all of you have been associated with it, you literally all your life. So,
Pretty much.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And the rest of you, a lot of your lives, or most of your lives. What are some of the memorable moments or events or people? You can just talk about just the memories, like when you think of the Red Lion, what memories come out for you in terms of like a very special evening, or maybe even a bad evening where there was a riot, or where where there was a anything that things that were kind of really stand out. What about you, Rosie? Let's start with you.
Memories,
Yeah.
parties,
Yes.
parties, and parties again. Dancing on the table when I was young. Right?
I heard that, yeah, I didn't see it, but I heard of it.
I still have pictures.
I saw it.
We had a lot of
First
Good.
time.
clientele, a lot of churches, a lot of lawyers from downtown.
Yeah, we had
At
it.
that time, not many restaurants were downtown. So we were very known here. Red Lion was known. Everybody knew the Red Lion. And we had a lot of church, doctor. you
And they
name
would
it,
sit for
Wi-Fi.
hours now.
For hours.
For hours.
And they still had
run to be in
the credit cards. They still had what you could use until later it changed.
Oh, the
Knuckle
retread, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you scratch it.
And, it was party every day. It was not like I said, oh, I have to go to work. It was, I
want to go to work.
love to go to work. We had excellent
Yeah.
clientele, excellent.
So
Two
very
bus-
more professional people.
More
lots of
professional
good-
people, a lot of, like I said, a lot of lawyers, a lot of church. The movie industry, a lot of people from the movie industry, doctors, firefighters, you name it. You name it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
good. And Elke?
But that was when I started working here the first time. We used to work together a lot. You were the bartender, I was the waitress. We were packed every day for lunch. And there was always a split shift. So if it slowed down, I would go home at 3 and come back later on. But yeah, whatever she said, it's right. There was a lot of partying going on
Yeah.
here.
And you've seen the clientele change a lot.
Oh yeah, it's different now.
Yeah.
It's younger and since we added the patio, it changed totally.
When did you add the beer garden?
Uwe did that 15, 16 years ago.
When the smoking law came
When
out.
the smoking ban.
96, 97?
98, 96, 98.
It has
98
been
was when
something
the
like.
permits.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it has. It was something like 17 years ago.
No, it was definitely 96 or earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, one never
But
done the
because
smoking lot.
there
There was a parking lot.
That was a parking lot, yeah. And he started. In the beginning, we girls from the middle bar, we only had some of the plastic white tables and chairs there, a few, so that people could sit there and smoke. And we girls here from the middle bar, we had to wait on these customers. There wasn't really a bar like it is now. And then eventually started adding the bar. Huh?
Yeah.
And then when the bar was there, and the tables and chairs and everything, then he added the kitchen. He never finished anything. He just kept on going and going.
Well, just wanted to see how things go.
But it was a brilliant idea. That was the best thing he has ever done, I think.
Well, I read on the website in the history, the original kitchen was just a little closet. The food kind of.
Oh,
that was downstairs.
That was downstairs, yeah.
There was downstairs.
Oh yeah, we had a little locker room there, and behind the bar there was a little opening, and we always had to climb there to get to the locker room.
Right now there's a refrigerator.
I always
so
had
you
a
go underneath.
scar here, and because I always hit the. I went to up so much.
And even the kids had to go through there. There was no room to go, and then it was dug out come all the way into the hill and have all this walking fridge put in, and a way to come out from the kitchen in the back, which are the stairs that wasn't there before.
They dug it out by the bucket.
By the
right?
bucket, yeah, because it
Wow.
it was a big job, yes.
So what are some of your
But-
favorite memories?
But it was worth it. Well, my favorite memories, of course, till we sold, I didn't really work as a waitress, or I just kind of did all the errands. There's always something to do, run around, go get this, fix this, fix that. So that was, I was the boy, or whatever, the lady for everything. But then after that, I started waitressing and bartending, just to come out and see still the friends and colleagues and customers. And again, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
When I get ready to come to work, I'm like a new person. So I enjoy it.
That's fair. So you're still working here?
I'm still working 2 days a week.
Uh-huh.
And enjoy it and help out in the meantime whenever a co-worker says, I need to go out, or something comes up, can you jump in for us? Yeah, which in fact I do tonight.
Yes.
So anyhow, so like she said, it's not something like, I gotta go to work. I gotta go to work.
No, in the old days
it's
it was
nice.
always.
But
we
I still
always had
enjoy it.
well, we would come here anyway. If we didn't work here, we would sit here anyway. Now we are in the middle of it and take money home.
Yeah.
How much better can you get?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So do you have a lot of celebrities coming in here? Or have
Occasionally.
Are there any famous people? That you
Yeah,
see?
like we just talked, was Elke Summer that came a few times.
Oh yeah, I still have
Years
pictures
ago,
hanging
yeah.
in my place. Yeah.
And at one time, or a couple of times, but one time when I was here, it was John Travolta. He was sitting right here. We took a lot of pictures, and it was interesting, yeah.
Jimmy Kimmel had his birthday party in this room.
Okay.
I think you were already in.
With Jimmy Kimmel?
I
don't know.
Yeah. He rented his people rented the whole room here and had his
that's
birthday
nice.
party. Yeah, it's nice.
Edita, you must have so many memories because you were coming here for such a long time too. So
Yes, I
what are-
do.
yeah,
I mean-
I'm sure your favorite memory is meeting your husband. But were there other things that are significant? Did you have a party here for your wedding or anything like that?
No, for the wedding we didn't have, I'm thinking. We had later on, like my daughter's 25th birthday, we had baby shower here.
Including
I mean, my older son's, wife.
I'm having a
Baby shower we having one today for him, for his wife. So, I don't know what else. Oh, we had my late husband's, that's sad memory, but my late husband's 10th death anniversary, we had kind of memorial here at the church and the cemetery, and then we all friends came here, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Was really touchy because all his friends that used to, that come anyway, and then they kind of was.
Sure. I think the Red Lion is famous for so many things, but certainly the top two are the beer and the food. So let's talk about the food a little bit, and the menu and how things have changed. So has it been kind of the same menu for all these years, or has it changed? Or?
We added a few things there,
Yes,
but
it's larger.
it's pretty much the same as it was always. The
What are the
dishes
most
and-
popular
we had to add, of course, when the vegetarians came out, we had to add vegetarian dishes and stuff. But the base is still absolutely the same as it has always been.
Yeah, like the outdoor kitchen, that changed things.
Yeah,
we
that
have
changed,
hamburgers and
Yeah.
fish and chips, which we did not have
We
before.
never had things like that.
So, but otherwise, like she says, the base is still pretty much the same. And
Pretzels and sausages.
yes, yes.
We never had pretzels
And
in the old days.
Well, not in the very old, but as
No.
far as I remember, there was pretzels
When
when
did
I
that
came.
start?
Yeah.
When
Yeah,
you came,
because-
we had pretzels.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Really?
Because I always had to go get the pretzels, drive all the way to Torrance. See?
We got them. Oh yeah, over.
Yeah, we always go to Alpine Village to get
Yeah.
the pretzels and get all
Oh
the
yeah, I
desserts.
remember. Yes.
That was my thing, to
Yeah.
go every week
Yeah.
to drive there and get the stuff, yeah. Just, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
You get your sausages from Continental, is that right? They
That's
make
right,
it
yes.
in Glendale? Yeah, that's great. How many different kinds of sausages do you have?
Oh,
I
God.
don't know.
A lot.
We've added Hungarian now as well.
So is it 8?
Yeah. 8, I think.
At
I think
least
it's
7 or 8. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, all different, yeah.
What's the best-selling item on the menu, you think? What's the
Sausage platter.
Sausage.
And the ice pine, depends what country.
Yeah.
Some days you come and the ice pine, every table has an ice
Can
pine.
you explain what that is so people know?
That's a pork shank.
Uh-huh.
So it comes in two varieties. One is a boiled one and one is a smoked one, so-called. And so the smoked one is more popular. But the Eastern countries, they eat like
And Japanese.
Japanese.
The
Yeah,
Japanese, they love that pork
yeah,
shank.
So, yeah,
yes.
so that's very, very known,
That's-
a loved item. Yes.
And that and the sausage platter.
Yes, and of course the
Yeah.
sauerkraut and the red cabbage, that goes very well with it.
Uh-huh.
So that's a good seller, yeah. And the sausages.
And the schnitzel.
Schnitzel.
And
Well,
Schnitzel,
yeah,
yes.
yeah, schnitzel, of
Yeah,
course.
of course.
I met the other day, some business meeting I had, so the guy said he always has schnitzel. When my brother comes, it's always schnitzel.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he said, just look at the menu, there are so
Yeah.
many things. No schnitzel, but
Yeah.
we kind of introduced other things and now he's eating other things.
Yeah, I know. And
But usually schnitzel.
used to be only the pork schnitzel, but now
Yeah.
with people that
Yeah.
don't want to eat pork, so now we have the chicken schnitzel. So
And those
that's
are very good.
things that have
Okay.
changed. Some items that people's taste have
Uh-huh.
changed, and the different salads that.
Yeah, sausage platter is going great because
Yes.
it's a conversation piece actually. You have 3 different sausages with the mustard.
But it's
and
more an
everything.
appetizer.
And yeah, it's like
Share.
appetizer.
Yeah.
But people
To
share with the beer and can talk about it. Like if you have a regular dinner, you just eat so it doesn't get cold. But sausage platter is like a conversation piece.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, and beer. What's the most popular kind of beers that you serve here?
I would say Spartan, Munich. I would say.
By volume, Spawn.
By
Yeah.
volume, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you serve it in a boot.
We have 4-liter boots, we have 2-liter boots, we have 1-liter boots. But you see, in Germany, it's a game. You pass it around. Here in America,
They drink
one
it themselves.
person orders a 2-liter boot. I even had 2 people. They ordered 2 4-liter boots, and I'm just selling the beer. I gave it to them.
It's meant to be shared.
Yes.
It's meant to be shared because it's a game. Then in the end, when somebody doesn't know how to drink it, because if you have the tip up, you get it in their face, and that one has to buy the next boot. So it is a game. But here, Americans take it very serious.
They don't wanna
have their
share.
one boot, and they are not going to give it to anybody else.
Well, it came out from the sicknesses too. People don't
Probably
share.
they don't want to
Yeah.
drink from the same.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, but then Warsteiner came out with that big tall glass. Do you remember? And there were numbers on,
Oh yeah.
so that people picked a number, and that's where they drank from. So that was smart,
But
but
of
it
course
didn't
it was
last.
very small, so you really have to.
You could take a straw.
Yeah.
A little bit. So, it's besides beer, what is the other? Do people drink martinis or what's the other?
Oh yeah. Full bar.
Yeah, it's a full bar.
No,
But
not the exotic
schnapps
stuff.
like Jägermeister.
Yeah.
Jägermeister was a big thing when you took over, no?
There was a lot of Jägermeister.
Yeah.
back
A lot
then.
of Jägermeister.
Yeah,
The
we still
Lithuanian-
move a lot of Jägermeister.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And isn't there a little like a little digestif that people have?
Yes.
The Unterberg.
Unterberg, yeah.
What's that again?
Unterberg.
Okay. What is that?
That is when you had a big funny meal for your digestion, then you just drink it. It tastes horrible, but it's considered medicine. Actually, it's not booze. That's why it's still ABC still hasn't noticed that that's very potent, because people that don't have a liquor license they sell Unterberg, which is weird. Have you noticed? Oh yeah, the Wurstküche downtown they don't have a liquor license. They all sell Unterberg. It's not.
It's considered medicinal. I don't know actually.
It's considered medicine.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was. What Germans aimed for when they invented that.
Okay.
All the,
To help you with
all the schnapses is excuses for medicine.
Yeah.
Stomach ache, headache.
No, but this is
Schnapps.
legally. This is legally medicine.
This is,
The
really
others are.
this is not something that you would drink like 5 of in a row.
No.
No.
No, Becherov also the same way. It's considered medicine. It's supposed to
Williamsbirne is a pear schnapps, excellent. Kirschwasser, excellent. All that is.
Oh, we have good
for the
German
stomach.
schnapps. Yeah.
Yeah, we have good
Really good.
schnapps.
I know that this morning you had an open house because you want to do some little expansion on the beer garden, some changes up there. So what's this plan for that, or what do you hope to do?
So our current interest is to, essentially because the kitchen was built piecemeal over the years and they dug it out, there isn't much room down there. So one of our interests now is to build a dedicated cooler for the beer, which would go in the driveway next to the Red Lion here, which is kind of like wasted space. And also above that, attach the beer garden to put in a disabled restroom, so that disabled people have somewhere to go. Because once again, this building is very old. It wasn't built at a time when there were laws that required disabled access. So trying to kind of modernize certain things and bring it up to pace. Also interested is in adding this additional refrigeration space. They'll open up some room in the kitchen, so we're thinking of moving the kitchen and the beer garden downstairs and adding that to additional bar space for the patrons, so they can enjoy more people out there.
That's going to be a big job.
It is going to be a big job.
It is. And with the original restaurant, was just the downstairs part? Is that right?
Yes.
That's how it started.
It started with just that one
Yeah.
room?
Yeah.
Okay, and then when...
And then Angelo, I think, added this.
There was
Yeah.
like
Like
The storage room, this.
Yeah.
Pool tables up here too. At some point.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
was
at
a
one point
storage
there
and
was a
pool,
pool,
yeah.
yeah.
And then it turned into the tables. And the bar came later. You put in the bar later.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was mainly for parties.
This was more the wine cellar, no?
We had a lot of private
Yeah.
parties.
Private parties.
Everything, Christmas, you name it. Easter, a lot of parties. Like I said, parties.
I think we associate the Red Lion with that, actually. So when did he add this? What year was this added on, this room we're in now?
All that
Ron, you
was
should know.
way back, yeah, in the 60s.
In the 60s,
Oh, so
probably.
long.
In the
Yeah.
late 60s.
Yeah, no, you have music here too? Have music
Live
downstairs,
music
so,
every
yeah.
night.
So, and that's, tell us who plays here and what they play.
Generally, it's a pianist or someone playing a keyboard. And let's see, we've got Doug Lacey, who's been here for a long time. Mate Kurik, is the last name?
Yeah.
I can't pronounce it.
Mate Kurik, who's he's a keyboardist and he's been playing here for a long time. He's a Croatian. And the other musician has been changing over the years. I'm not sure who it is.
Yeah.
Well, whenever Doug is not here, he
He-
calls out the
I think
replacement.
it's a friend of Dougie's.
Okay.
Why he
Yeah.
fills in, yeah.
There's usually 2 or 3 bass musicians, and sometimes they bring a guest to play with them, and so it's fun.
Great.
Except Mondays we have trivia.
I've been here.
You've
Yeah.
been to
Yes,
trivia
I have.
night?
It's very popular.
Very popular, yes.
Very popular.
Yeah.
You said something earlier I wanted to ask you about. You were talking about how when you first started working here that you didn't feel so very safe in this. So let's talk about the changes in Silver Lake, because this is kind of about the history of Silver Lake too, and kind of how this area has changed and what changes you've seen in all the years you've been working and coming to this area.
Oh, I feel totally. I live next door.
Yeah.
I can walk everywhere. I can walk to the liquor store. I can walk to the bank. I can walk to the market. And no, I feel totally safe now.
No, but I'm talking about the changes from how it was. How was it in those days when you said it was
It
very,
was.
you felt very
There
threatened?
were a bunch of shady pubs. Like, you know where
Yeah,
ginger
on the
grass is now. There was a weird hangout.
Motorcycle, gang.
Yeah.
Bar on the corner. What was it called?
I can't remember what it was called, but it was a drug hangout where
You had a lot
people
of
would
fights
go.
and
Yeah.
drugs.
Yeah, on the
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
Gingergrass on the
Yeah, but
Where
motorcycle.
Gingergrass is
Yeah,
now.
there was a
Yeah,
bar.
there was a
What
bar.
it called, that bar?
What years are we talking about, Rose?
Gosh,
That was-
in the 60s.
60s.
Oh yeah,
70s. Then the police closed it up after too many fights, and
Incidents.
stabbings, and accidents. They closed it. Yeah, they closed it up.
So this was not kind of an unsafe area at that time, it seems like.
Well, I walked at night at that time. Later in the day, I never felt unsafe.
Yeah, but you always worked during the day, no?
No, at that
No?
time,
Oh.
in the beginning, I walked at
Now,
night.
I found it unsafe 2:30 to go in. And we didn't have security then, otherwise security could have taken us to the car.
And I don't know, maybe I
What's
think
happened?
that's the reason
But that-
also that people were more dressed up. They were not allowed to come in here with flip-flops and tank
No,
tops.
no.
You were dressed. Not dress,
Yeah.
but you had something.
But they had to
decent.
cover up. I remember we had one waitress, English Helen. She had a little rose tattoo.
Yeah,
here
no
on the
tattoos
shoulder.
and no
She had to cover up.
Yeah, no tattoos.
She was
now.
not allowed to work and show
Ah,
And even customers, like I said.
Oh, yeah.
You cannot come
Really?
in. Yeah.
For the
Yeah.
dress code, basically.
Yes.
I remember when somebody came in a tank top or something, then Wolfe would go to the office, get a Jägermeister shirt, and say, give it to him, he has to cover up, otherwise he has to leave.
Leave. Yeah.
That's great.
So it has changed in that
That's
sense.
changed a lot. Then,
Yes.
Yeah.
The clientele. And the Cha-Cha Lounge is across the street now, but what was that back in the 60s? Was that a bar also?
I think in the 60s it was a restaurant, and then it became the Le Bar.
No, over there in the
Okay.
corner, where
Yeah,
across
it's
the
right.
wine. Yeah, I know. But where the wine place is around the corner,
There was a
next to
restaurant.
that was a big restaurant,
Yeah.
dining restaurant. And over there, here across the street, was a bar. Always a bar. The second time they
Yeah.
changed into a gay bar, and now
Yeah,
it
that was
changed
Le
again.
Bar then.
Yeah.
Le Bar.
It changed again. Yeah.
There's been a lot. And Aidas, we and I talked at one point about, you said a lot of police used to come and drink in here too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It was a
A lot of
Yeah.
detectives.
Yeah.
detectives.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, we had Christmas party. I remember one party we who worked together, we had one side with all cops, and they all had Coke, and one had a beer, I remember that so well, and the other side were plumbers, or a big party, the same size party, with plumbers, they drank beer. And in the end, Rosie and I, we told the plumber, you have to go upstairs and have to keep drinking there, because you don't want to be caught by the cops. Do you remember that?
Yeah, but I remember the place when we had detectives.
Oh yeah, that's
Up here, we closed the door
Yeah.
and we gambled. We had private, only private, but they couldn't say anything. They were all detectives and hiring police. What can do the police to the police? You know?
No,
Oh yeah, we closed the door here. And they brought their own dice sticks, big box, and we closed the door.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, Simone and I walked here.
Really?
And we made a lot of
But
money.
that was
every time you want money, we got money. They were lousy.
There was much later, no? Because Simone didn't start.
There must have been, yeah, because I was here already. And
Yeah, we were
And I didn't even
here.
know that. Well, I was
I
here all
didn't
the
know
time,
that.
so what
That
do
was
I
at
know?
Uwe's time.
And Uwe's.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we closed
Yeah.
the door here. It was locked, private.
Yeah.
And they brought their own gambling table. They had the dice table, and we gambled here. Simone and I walked here. They made money, and we made a lot of money too. Every time we won, we got something in our little blouses. Yeah, we had fun. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful story.
Yeah. That way.
Yeah.
My most favorite story is when Jürgen. We had a lot of painters here, German painters, and a bunch of them lived across the street. And one night, one of the painters, Jürgen, he passed away, but he painted a crosswalk to the so that they would always get safe home.
Into the bar.
That is my most favorite story. But it didn't take long until the cops noticed it, and then they painted it over, and it didn't last. But I thought the idea was wonderful.
It was too far to go to the
Because
crosswalk.
they just went on their hand so the cars would stop. Yeah, he painted a crosswalk.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. That's good. They need one now, actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, because with the cha-cha, that
Oh my
people
gosh.
keep running across the street, and so there should be a crosswalk. Yeah.
So do people from your church still come here?
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, a lot.
A lot.
I wait on them all the time. Yeah.
So after church on Sunday?
After church.
Yes, they do, and and or if we have some kind of event at our parish, and a lot of people.
Yeah.
Do you still do a lot of private parties here?
Yeah, people still, they still will reserve for different occasions, birthdays.
A lot of
birthdays.
Yeah.
Many birthdays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, many birthdays.
Happy place.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
why.
Yeah.
So aside from trying to expand the beer garden, or not expand it, but I mean just to add the refinement you're talking about, what do you see for the future of the Red Lion? We've got a large chunk of the past here, so...
I would say our evening business is changing. It's starting to slow down, and it's starting to shift more to like Sunday days. So I feel like having a lot more families and things like that coming in, which is interesting because for a long time we were late in the late evenings. It was very, very busy here, and we're still busy, but it's slowed down a bit and kind of transitioned. So perhaps some of our clientele are getting older, having families, or just not staying out as late. But in general, that's one of the reasons why we bought this place, because I didn't want to see it change. I mean, it's such a gem, and someone would be a fool to come in here and try to, make it different.
To
Why?
change anything, why?
Ja, aber unten müsste geändert werden.
Well, you've
Yeah.
got changing demographics in this neighborhood too.
Oh, yeah.
Like you've
You've got
got
a lot
totally
more family,
different
like you said,
house.
explains maybe the
It's
family.
not like
But this place
in
is
our
still
time,
timeless.
kleine
Yeah.
In the way.
Dittenringen
Yeah.
zurück.
Yeah, I know.
It's a different clientele.
What's that, Rosie?
I said, if I would own the place, I would change the downstairs in the daytime. I would make it lighter because the clientele changed. In our time, like I said, we had business people. We had short skirts. I mean, short.
Short.
We had open blouses. We all had. What I'm talking. Yeah, and it was just different clientele. And
Yeah,
in
like-
order to, because it's so dark downstairs, to get the different clientele in the daytime, I would make it light, like in Germany, it's light in the daytime. It's not like a tavern. And at night, you can close the shutters and make it dark and soundproof. That's what I would do.
Yeah. Yeah, and the dress code, like I said, has changed with customers and the girls.
Yeah,
Yeah, the girls too.
we used to look like dolls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In the early days, everybody was.
yeah. We had a
Yes.
we had a seamstress, Angelo, Anna had
Yeah.
a seamstress. We had got our dresses made.
Yeah.
And pretty much all the same now. They all come whichever the way they want.
This
They-
dress is one of the oldest. That's probably like
So
30
that's-
years old.
that's-
That was the original ones.
But have the servers or the waiters
Anna made
yes.
or costume?
Yes.
Yeah, until later on, especially after Angelo. Angelo was a little behind it to change. But now they come in moon boots. This, I already got
Yeah.
mad at some girls in there. They looked at
Well,
me.
we've been working on that. It's
I told several of them. I said they were kind of looking. I said it's time to retire the boots.
Yeah.
Oh,
You cannot have a dirty dress with boots.
It's
you
really
know. You have
hard
to-
with some girls.
She says it's comfortable. I said
So that-
there's other cute shoes, comfortable shoes. You don't have to. But
And we were not even allowed to wear sneakers.
no,
No.
nothing.
No.
We had
But I
Because
think,
it doesn't look good with the dinner. You don't have a dinner with sneakers.
But
You
they
can
are
have-
comfortable
You
shoes.
can.
Like she
There are
says.
plenty of comfortable shoes.
so,
around.
but as far as the dress code, like I remember when I came to this country, people would come to the church with gloves and everything. I mean, that's changing. Even the priest is saying at the church, don't come in shorts, don't come, kind of naked
Well,
back,
yeah.
And I mean, it's changing. People are just very casual now.
I know, but that's
yeah, but
church.
this is themed thing.
It's not even casual
This
anymore.
is
It's sloppy.
Probably,
this
yes.
is-
Casual and sloppy is a difference.
Yeah.
Yes, but
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people are kind of, yeah, that's true. But I mean, it's changing. I think it's maybe VR Beach kind of You know,
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with Dirndls. This is a
I
place that
wouldn't let him in.
has
I
been
wouldn't let
known
people
to
in
be a
like that.
Dirndls. The girls always
No,
stand
no,
there.
I'm not
So
talking
this
about
has
this.
nothing
I'm
to
talking
do
about the
with people.
The
Of
customers.
course,
So,
customers
They
that
come-
changes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
customers I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
But the journals are still a requirement.
Yes,
unless,
yes.
they're on,
Yes.
unless they're on the patio and it's
In the
like
It's
a
cold.
cold,
Yeah.
cold evening.
Yeah, but then we have the jackets with,
Now
the,
there's
with the
jackets
Red
with the
Lion,
Red Lion,
and we
yeah,
have
yeah,
t-shirts
so-
with Red Lion. We have everything.
So there's some alternatives that we've proposed. And
Yeah.
It's always a struggle managing
Yeah.
many people.
Yeah.
So.
You're talking about the changing clientele, and to kind of bring it back to Silver Lake again, changing as part of that is probably the changes that we've seen here in Silver Lake too, and you've seen a lot of changes. I mean, in the clientele, you said was professional at one time mostly, and what about racially mixed? I mean, was there a lot of? I mean, what is it? Mostly white people that come here, or is it? What is it? I mean,
It used to.
It used to be like that, but not anymore.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
much more mixed.
Dat is niet correct.
So, but you had, I mean, more Latinos, more blacks, more.
I mean, but in the old days, I had very often that I was called Nazi bitch or stuff like that. But I just laughed about it because they wanted me to get upset and then really give it to me. And I was like, yeah, I'm proud of it.
I had an incident when I worked here only for 5-6 months in the daytime. Some young fellas, I was young at the time, but they were young, between, I would say, 26 and 30. And they came on the brick boots, 5 or 6 guys, and one of them said to me right away, he said, are you German? I said, yes. And he says, did you realize that you Germans killed 6 million? I looked at him, I mean, I was born 41, you know. And I said, yeah, and I said, they made a mistake. They should kill 6 million in one, because they forgot you. Yeah, because, and then he called my boss and said, I mean, how, I don't go to the Fairfax district and say, are you Jewish? You know what I'm saying? How dare can you come in at young, I was young at that time, you know, I had nothing to do with the war, to say something like that. I said, I'll give you back. And that was the end of it.
When you came
She
here,
was always,
Feisty. He was a feisty.
always, until she quit, always, yeah.
How can you say that to somebody? Or how can you go in a black bar and say, oh, you know, N-word? You don't do that.
Yeah.
So you have to give it back. You get what some of you say medicine.
So
That has changed now.
So, yeah,
You don't,
you don't see
you
that
don't
so
hear
much.
things like that anymore. No.
you find this since you four ladies are all immigrants, really, in a
Yes.
way. So, and you all ended up here at the Red Lion. Was this kind of part of your American dream coming to? I mean, when you came to America, did you think you would end up at the Red Lion? As is this part of
With me, it was a coincidence.
Uh-huh.
Never thought of it. I was here as a customer also, came in once in a while to eat because we had friends like Uwe and Hans we knew and his wife, and so we come to eat once in a while, but never thought I would end up here. But here,
Yeah.
it was just fate, I guess, coincidence.
You're not the only customer that ended up here.
That's right.
Yeah, I used to come in, yeah. But mostly not at party time. At the time I was
No.
not party, you know.
Yeah.
I had kids and so we just come for dinner.
No, I
and
came
go.
over here and started working in an English place at the Cat and Fiddle. And then I heard about this. I was like, oh, that's cool to work in a German place.
A natural for you.
Yeah. Yeah, it came on natural. I didn't have to learn anything. I knew about the food, I knew about the beers. So that was perfect.
That's wonderful. Well, any other great stories you want to tell, or anything you want to add to what we've talked about? Have we left anything out, or?
I don't know. You always told me some stories about the Lithuanians and the Germans having singing competitions.
They were to sing, yes. Oh yeah, we had a group, the choir group that would come in here, the German young sing on Sundays, yes. I guess after their church or whatever, they would
And
come
what
and
was
sing.
it? Like the Lithuanians would sing a song, and
Yeah.
the Germans then would
Yeah.
sing a song, and they would be going back and forth.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's
That's true.
song wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
They were singing native songs.
Native songs.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Uh,
yes. Native song.
Yeah, that's funny. In Lithuanian and German.
Lithuanians,
Yeah.
Lithuanian, Germans, Germans.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah,
great.
that's right. They used to come.
Oh, then we had the Edelweiss Club here for a long time.
What's
That was a ski
Ski
club.
club.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but they got older and older, and people passed away. And in the end, there were just like 4 or 5 left, and we always kept this place just for them. And then they said themselves, we have to stop there because we can't take away business from you. So that's why it ended. But we still have all the pictures on the wall.
Well, wonderful. I think, any questions for you guys? Good? Well, thank you all so much. It was really wonderful. It's delightful, actually, to hear this to the Red Lion and to meet all of you. Thank you for coming in and taking the time. So, thank you. Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen. I think I have to go downstairs. I just realized.
Once in a while.
I hope that Stephanie is working.
Stephanie's
Did she take